Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stephen Breach coming to you. I wasted your time yesterday with a big, long video about a big, long storyline I thought WWE could run, basically saying that, Brock Lesnar was going to turn the whole WWE babyface because there was no stand-up contender that was going to be able to stand up and face Brock Lesnar. I thought that what they were going to do was have John Cena basically take a mini vacation for a little bit and just basically say that he was too injured to wrestle after the match at SummerSlam, selling the fact that Brock Lesnar is the biggest beast that took down the biggest guy in the locker room, the guy that's really stood up for WWE whenever there's been any sign of trouble and has been able to get out of it, John Cena. And it turns out that Cena not only is too injured to compete, Cena still is going to compete. He's going to go into that locker room, he's going to slap on that Superman shirt, and he's going to come running out there trying to save the day against Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. Honestly, in my mind, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is going to be one of the biggest matches that WWE can put on whenever they can do it. Doing it 2 times in a row, to me, honestly, is a little bit of a head-scratcher. They must have something really planned for WrestleMania, because honestly, in my mind, I don't want to see John Cena win. Honestly, when I heard that Brock Lesnar was going to compete at this year's SummerSlam against John Cena and the WWE Championship was going to be on the line and they were going to put the title on Brock Lesnar, the first thing I thought of is that he's going to do Night of Champions and he's going to lose. Now that we're sitting in this place, I don't want to see Lesnar lose. I think I like the storyline of Lesnar keeping that title all the way until WrestleMania, and seeing if he's going to show up at sporadic shows and they're going to do things. Maybe they do Cena versus Lesnar, Hell in the Cell. I don't see them doing anybody as a fresh competition unless Taker comes back out of retirement, and then it's going to be Taker versus Brock in Hell in the Cell. Picking back up where they left off years ago in that awesome Hell in the Cell match. I think that's one of the best ones that WWE's ever put on. Of course, it's not going to be able to, to go with Mick Foley flying off the top of the cage with memorable moments, or Kane coming down and ripping the cell door off, and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels fighting on the top of it in the first one. But honestly, when it comes down to match for match, I think Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker with an all-out fight inside of the cell was one of the best ones they've ever done. They tell one hell of a story with the Mick Foley versus Triple H one off the top of my mind, but this isn't a top 5 Hell in the Cell match video. This is going to be basically just talking about the match that's coming up. They say at SmackDown that Cena comes out and says that the doctor says he's too banged up to compete, but he's going to go out there and he's going to give it his best anyways. I guess he's just, the storyline they're going to use is that he's using his rematch clause. It's not like Triple H is appointing him as the best guy to go out there. Paul Heyman put him over on Monday Night Raw the best way he could, basically saying that Stone Cold Steve Austin was only on top for 5 years. The Rock was only on top for 3 years. Hulk Hogan was on top for 8 years. But John Cena was on top of WWE for 10 solid years, and he's one of the best guys. And Brock Lesnar just took him out. How great is Brock Lesnar? It's sort of like making John Cena get picked up, to be up there in the list with the heavens, and then just knocking him down and saying Brock's the best ever. Cena versus Brock, in my mind, like I said, it's one of the best matches. It's one of the biggest matches that they can put out there. Are they going to do where Cena just goes out there and gets the shit kicked out of him? I don't know if you can do that twice. I think that if you ask Cena to lose, I think he'll do whatever he's told. I just think I think he's the biggest team player there is in the WWE. I think that if Vince went out there and said, I want you to lose every big match this year on pay-per-view and not give him a reason on what's going down, I think that Cena's going to do it, knowing that he's been that guy for the last however many years. Vince is still going to pay him, and he's still going to be a top guy no matter what, even if he's losing all these matches. Hell, look at the year he had. Was it 2011, which we said was one of the worst years, or 2012, where, he went out there and he wasn't able to beat The Rock, he wasn't able to cash in the Money in the Bank, he wasn't able to beat CM Punk. It just, it was a bad year all around, and then it got capped off with him winning the Rumble in 2013, and then he went on and won the title from The Rock at WrestleMania. He beat Mark Henry, he beat Ryback, and it looked like he was off to having a good year, and I don't really remember how that year ended for Cena off the top of my head. I'm not the best historian there is. If you can get me started on something, I can get back into it, but sometimes I need that little kick in the pants to remember a pay-per-view or something like that. But I did pretty well there. But Cena versus Lesnar is going to be huge. It's going to be big. Honestly, in my mind, UFC doesn't do... they'll do rematches, but I mean, they don't do like UFC 100, Lesnar versus Cena, and then UFC 101, Lesnar versus Cena. They give you some time to let that digest and make you want another one. That's why I'm just surprised that they're going to go right back into the well with Lesnar versus Cena, trying to make sure everybody re-ups on the WWE Network and gets so they can watch Night of Champions and everything like that. In my mind, I don't think there's anybody on the bubble who's going to sign up. I think people might sit there on YouTube and make a video complaining about the WWE Network, and they might complain about it on Facebook or Twitter. But when it comes down to it, they don't want to go back to the old way of buying those pay-per-views for $50 a pop, when you can sign up for $9.99 and get the same damn thing on your Apple TV or your laptop or whatever the hell works for you guys. This is going to be a big match. This is going to be a big pay-per-view. WWE Network, I love you. Thanks.